Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly June reading. It's been a little bit of a minute as June seems to be a month where I have taken a little bit of a hiatus. But anyway, this video is going to be designed to serve the dates of, let's say, June 22nd to the end of the month. And as you guys know, these readings are timeless and signless, so it actually doesn't matter when you're accessing the video. If the information resonates and you feel called to listen and hopefully take some loving action steps, then it's for you. First of all, let me go ahead and have a seat in this squeaky chair. There we go. It's the chair, it's the chair. And hopefully you can hear the wind in the background. If you just hear a lot of noise, it's the wind. So let's jump right in and see. Oof, whatever this is strong. I don't know if you could feel that card, but I felt it. Oh, look at the card that just fell. Bloink. 9 of Swords and balance. Okay, let's just jump in because you guys know how we roll. All right, so interestingly, the energy that I'm getting so far is that it seems like, at least this part of the reading, this could be, I'm getting out of breath already, just trying to get the words. This is for those of you who may have had some type of encounter with another person. It does feel like it could have been romantic, of course, because a lot of us who do watch these videos do tend to watch for romance. Come for the romance, but leave with the idea, stay with the idea of health and well-being. But anyway, it looks like whether this is this could be father issues, of course, but it could also be about somebody who is no longer physically in your space. Now, when I talk about this, I'm not necessarily getting the vibe of someone who's transitioned, God bless, to another plane. If that's the way it's coming across for you, then it could be that way for you. But this feels more like somebody with whom you had an active soul contract with, and now that soul contract is not here. I'm looking for it. I'm seeing it on the shelves, and I just want to pull down the scroll and like blow the dust, because please know this may still be fresh in your mind, but it is not the case any longer. Now, definitely getting the vibe that this could be a past life connection, and maybe you ran into that soul in this lifetime. It was designed just to be like an acquaintance thing, 2 ships in a night. Now they're just playing the role of someone else in your they're so funny, the guides. They're like the fauna. They're playing the role of the fauna. Not the flora, the fauna. They're just there. They're in the background. But your soul remembers. What is this? It's peeking out right now. Your soul remembers, and it's like, okay, let's see what that has to do with. But it's like, see how they're over here, they're doing their own thing. The roles are different in this lifetime. This could, of course, also be about somebody that you had a significant relationship with in this lifetime, and of course the wounds are still fresh. It could have been 20 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. It could have been a relationship for 3 years, 3 months. Gosh, a weekend. Oh my God, who's that? Okay. No judges. I'm just like, what? But the whole point is it was significant, and it's no longer in your life in a significant way, but yet you're still carrying the wounds, understandably, from this interaction. And the thing about it is that your guides are trying to tell you lovingly. I feel them like, look at how they're like rubbing the sheet here. I'm like, oh, this is very plushy. That's why I bought it, guys. Look, cute. But anyway, they're rubbing your shoulders and they're like, hello, this is no longer a reality for you, and we need you to see that. It's one of those things. Knowing already they're also talking to me. But they're talking to quite a few of us. And this time they don't want you to delve too deeply into that connection. There's no need to revisit it, or maybe it's this person and this is what it was about and I said this, and it's not about that. You see how this lady's blindfolded? This is about releasing the guides just said animosity. For some of you, you're still carrying animosity. I'm also feeling grief. Suddenly I want to like sneeze and blow out the grief that's behind my nose, for example. So you're holding on to these really heavy emotions because listen, this is, if you don't take anything away from this reading besides the plushy statement about this material, please take what I'm going to say. Now, this is not with you. These emotions are not with you because this is a destined relationship, that you're going to come back together, that this is what it was supposed to be. For some of you, unfortunately, I am feeling that this is relating to the mother or father of your children. You're not together anymore, but there's this feeling, it's a resonance. Oh, this is so strong because this is supposed to happen. I don't care who you're talking to. I don't care what readings you're getting. If this reading and this part of the reading is for you, it is not because you're supposed to be together again. This contract is over in the way that it was. It's over now. Of course, if you're co-parenting, the contract has transitioned, it's changed in a way, and but this is not about coming back together. The reason why is simply because you haven't processed a few words. I wanted to say you haven't processed the grief yet, but the guides are saying you haven't processed the information that has been coming through for you about healing. And could it be anything? For some of you, it could be the information that has been being sent to you could be something like, we need you to stop drinking. This is for somebody here. We need you to stop drinking. We need you to stop with this behavioral pattern that was put in place or was exacerbated by this trauma, because you keeping that going is kind of also keeping this thing open, right? So it's like, let's get started on that so we can start working on these underlying issues. Another one of you here is you could stop talking about it. A lot of times people are out of the relationship for a while, but they're still talking about it with their friends, like, oh, well, I remember when me and so-and-so used to do this, or so-and-so that. It's time to move on, because this person has already moved on. And when I say this person has already moved on, even if they're like, but they're still calling me and they're still messaging me, like, I don't know, this isn't a personal reading, but I'm definitely getting the soul contract is no longer the way that it used to be. So it's time to release. Okay, so this part of the reading is for some of you here. I'm seeing flowers right now, and I'm feeling like a little bit of a villa energy. So maybe some of you may have gone somewhere. I don't know why I'm getting France or somewhere in Paris or something. It doesn't have to be, but there's a connection there, and there's also a connection with some type of cottagey or villa kind of like a villa kind of look, and it's got these beautiful flowers, in the boxes around the windows, and so this could be for you. This is also about nostalgia. Nostalgia is just energy that's kind of in the air, and energy is always in the air, but when we don't allow ourselves to move on from the energy and we want to stay in that energy, what we do is we keep creating this fanciful space where we're just in. It's like a weather cell, cute little weather cells that cross the plains, and we have a cold streak coming in, or a cold front, and it's like this. You're in an energy pattern, and sometimes people are in energy cells or energy patterns for years, right? But the problem is that when you're in it, you perceive of it as being reality, and so therefore you really have to process and work on processing the mind and the heart space, in other words the thoughts and the emotions, which will give way to core beliefs, so that you can start to discern what the reality is. All right, and it's not helpful when we want to stay in that way of thinking, and it's understandable why we would choose to stay in Pleasantville as opposed to reality, and that's because it feels safer. It feels safer. We can maintain certain ideals about ourselves, like, oh, I am wanted, or I am loved, or I didn't make a mistake that really cost me my marriage, or I didn't, these are heavy emotions, heavy things, and because they're so heavy and they can be so painful, and they scare us right out of reality, literally. And so we choose on some level, and I know some of you are like, this isn't my choice, but as a reader, as I'm looking right into your energy field, I see it. And sometimes it's right there, right behind the eyes. It's not really that it's not really that distant, that subconsciously hidden. And you'll know that because if somebody points out to you, hey, I notice you do this, that, and that. And I think it's because this, that, and that. You're like, no, that's not true. And then when you stop and you think about it, you're like, yeah, I guess you're right, because I do this, and I guess I do remember feeling this rage when I saw them. So it's there. just because you're not seeing it doesn't mean it's not there. It's like one of the fallacies in logic, one of the logical fallacies. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Meaning, just because you don't see the evidence, you shouldn't take that not seeing as evidence that it's not there. Instead, before we seek to be understood, we should seek to understand. So if someone tells you something, before you're like, no, that's not true, you don't know me, blah, 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 we need to stop and be like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't resonate with me at this conscious level of awareness, but I will put it in my back pocket, and I'll take some time to really sit and connect with it and really do my best to unpack it and see where maybe I do hate my mom, or maybe I do. Look at how this is starting to, notice how I hit it, and I just realized it's starting to go up right now. Now you're starting to kind of get more into reality as it, as we talk about this, yeah? Look at the next card, the Ace of Shields. But when I look at this card, it's also the Ace of Coins. But when I look at this card, it always feels like I keep expecting there to be people sitting around this table, but it's so empty. So what we're seeing here is, as we're talking about this, something in your energetic space, whoever this message is for, is changing. This conversation is catalyzing a process, right? And so what's happening is that it's almost like it's becoming a bit like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. And the awareness comes, oh my God, there was never anyone here to begin with. Or imagine if this was what you thought you were seeing, all the red and the fire and the hotness and the heat, the hotness. But then when you look at the reality of it, it's cold. The only red that's here is in those bushes, and they're like way far from you. It has nothing to do with you, and there's no heat coming from everywhere. It's just from this pot, and and it's a totally different scene altogether, right? And so this is what Spirit is trying to say. If you did not have a chance yet to look at the June 2022 reading that we put out at the beginning of the month, or a little bit after the beginning of the month, or if you have, but you could use a refresher, go ahead and review it. Remember, June is awareness month. It's all about becoming aware. The guides just want us to step into awareness of what really is. And sometimes it's difficult, right? Because here we have the Nine of Swords, which is all about, heartbreak. You can't think straight. The emotions are all over the place. I call it the crying in the car, crying in the shower card. It's the obsessive thoughts. It's the nightmares. It's just the depression. It's just not fun. It's not a happy state of being. Remember, this is a state of being. It's not who you are. And so look at how it contrasts sharply with the Equilibrium card, which is coming through with a plea to get balanced, right? Some of you I'm seeing may even have thought your way into, and I'm hearing economic imbalance, but especially if you're shopping, over shopping, addiction to shopping, or you're releasing of your resources, or somebody gives you something and you give it away right away in the name of charity. Oh, thanks for this new sweater. Oh, I know who would love this sweater, my cousin. You give it away. That's an inability to receive. That in and of itself, and it's a dangerous thing sometimes, because we mask it. It's like, oh, I really want this person to be happy. I know they'd love it. And yes, they would. They would totally love it. But guess what? When we look at the pattern, that's not the spirit in which you're actually giving it. Because right behind the eyes is the reality of the grief and the feeling of that you don't deserve better, and the this and that, the poverty consciousness, the low self-worth. And so it comes to energy. It's just energy masquerading as manifested let's say a hoodie. It comes to you and you give it right away, right? So watch for that. It's resource, economic imbalance. Spirit is saying they can't even prosper, some of you, because of that. That alone right there is, they give you something and it goes right out. Guilty a little bit. My bad guys, my bad. But I'm here with you guys. I'm in the dugout with you guys. me doing the reading and also taking notes. So watch that. But it contrasts sharply here with this imbalance. I'm also trying to see if I'm picking up on they're just saying economic, because I was going to say, is this a hormonal imbalance as well? But I'm seeing economic imbalance here. So they're saying, hey, we got to reach out to you because we want to prosper you. We want to give to you. We want to heal you. We want to help you. But this stuff that you have going on, this lack of awareness is the underlying thing. But this these thoughts that are not real are getting in the way of being able to give you anything that you would be able to, number one, recognize, let alone to hold on to. Yeah, so the guides are calling for your equilibrium. Okay, look at that. The eight of coins, but it gives me heavy Six of Swords energy. Six of Swords, for those of you who aren't aware, is all about moving on from, let's say, rough seas, rough waters, rough time in your life, to something better, something smoother. It's like more smooth sailing, right? But in this case, it's giving me those vibes, but it also comes across with the Eight of Coins energy. So Spirit is saying you're going to have to work for this. You're going to have to work to move on. Work, what do you mean work, God? They mean do the work. Sit down, look at the emotions, write that list of all the people in your life. You know, doesn't even have to just be romantic. Look at all the people in your life that you still carry grief for. Oh, suddenly I had to yawn. Excuse me. Yoga, that's coming through for someone on that yawn. Somebody here is being directed to do yoga or stretching, especially around the neck area, especially around the calf area, the calves. I can never say that. Calves. Sorry. I love me. Anyway, the calves of your legs, because there is stored quite a bit of old stuff. I'm seeing some stuff from the grandmother. You got stuff in there, so so please start doing something. The guides are like, we're here, we're waiting, we got stuff. I see them holding a suitcase. Some of you are supposed to be traveling soon. They want you to travel. They've been trying to get you to move your buns, do something. And yeah, I'm also getting a legal case for somebody. Some of you may have had some type of legal proceeding. Okay, just checking the time. Some of you may have had some type of legal proceeding, and it kind of knocked the wind out of you. Maybe it's knocked the sails out of you. Maybe you suffered a court loss, or a judgment against you, summary judgment against you. Could have been something, or maybe something is dragging on, but there's some type of court appearance or legal proceedings that is just. And I also see that for some of you here, there may have been a bit of a win here for you, actually. It's almost like, yeah, I've got this win, but it's not what I wanted. Oh, got it. Ooh, okay, let's look at that. We're being drawn into a subset of you, because I'm sure this isn't for everybody, but we're all on this call together. We're loving each other. We're hearing each other's stuff. Someone here may have one custody in, yeah, the guys are like, right. Someone here may have one custody. Yeah, it may have been sole custody, or it would be tantamount to sole custody of children, but you know, hello, that's a win, right? Depending on the circumstances, and maybe the court deemed it to be, you know, you should win, and so yeah. But if you keep it real, keeping it 100 ski, you would notice that you are carrying on within as though this is a loss, because if you're keeping it honest, self-honesty is what they want here. You have to admit that you wanted to be back together with this ex, okay? And it's almost like now that the court has made a decision and the course has been set now, because like there's nothing left to do. I don't legally owe this person any visitation rights or anything. There's no reason why you should be calling this person or interacting with this person or engaging with this person. But I feel, like when I said engaging, that got me right there in an organ on the left side. Not sure which organ that is, but it got me there, which tells me you should probably pay attention to your organs inside, because the energy is there. What I'm getting is either you were once engaged to this person, or you had thoughts that, wow, this would lead to engagement, or if I'm with this person, this is going to be, I'm going to be married. This, I have to be honest, this is coming from a wounded place within you, where you, and it's a deep wound. So on the surface, at your conscious level, you're thinking this has to do with the kids. All the kids need their father or mother or blah, blah, blah. But no, this is about you. And I say this lovingly, God bless. This is about you wanting to feel like you matter. And to you believe that you're valuable and that you matter if you're in a relationship where somebody chose to marry you. Now this is straight out of a past lifetime, okay? Past lifetime heavy. And so here you are today. Clearly, if the courts have determined that you should have sole custody of these kitties or this kid, then chances are, I'm not a judge. I can't always say that the courts are always right, but if this is what came down to ruling for you, then chances are that maybe it's been shown that your partner is neither a good match for the children nor a good match for you. And so a lot had to have happened along the way that proved that this person wasn't a good match for you in this lifetime. So the question is of logic, why would you still be on some level, not your conscious level, but some level, if you're keeping it 100, why would you be upset about not being chosen by this person, or wanting to live with this person, or marry this person, or have your baby's father or mother with you, blah, blah, blah. This is past life stuff where you have learned to associate your value and your sense of self with marriage, okay? Case closed. And so you see, you need to heal that, because not having that situation healed or acknowledged or looked at is directly causing you to suffer in the present, okay? Because you're misseeing, look at this, the 9 of Swords, nightmare stuff, with the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. You won, but yet here you're viewing it like this because you didn't do the work to move on, okay? Tower card, they're like, get it out of here. 7 of Swords, deception, all right? So June, guys, is the month of revelation, nation, revelation for the nation, whichever nation you're watching in. This is your state of the union that you need to look at. Everyone needs to look at their stuff. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to get stuck forever looking at your stuff. That's not it by any means at all. What it means is that if you're attracted to my videos, if my video even energetically crosses your reality, your physical reality, well, that means that you're carrying some type of energetic pattern, whatever it is, that could be that is resonating somewhere in here. It's your job to kind of see if you're ready to work with that or not, okay? So just because you're like, I'm watching this, but this sounds like more like my friend than for me, okay, well, you're watching this. So, and it's not always, or mostly, it's, for reals, it's really rarely about it needing to be told to your friend. It's usually like, hey, this is for you. Something in this reading is for you. You may have no kids. You may not have had a court proceeding, but the dynamic of needing to raise awareness about something you're not sure that you're carrying and working with is there. It's a shared dynamic, because here we have this collective energy of her not being able to see. Here we have this collective energy of this lovely knight who wants happiness with his cup, but he cannot pass this river, this stream. But you're like, hello, you're on a dragon, just bump with it, but what's stopping us? Look at what's on the other side of the stream, the balance that you need. This is spirit saying, hey, we see your cup and we raise you with 2 cups. Come into the water. Let's talk. We'll help you, but you do need to balance that out. Look at, there's the 8 of Swords. I was like, where's the 8 of Swords? That's that obsessive thinking. This is what they are going to be helping you with, helping you to see the judgments they're saying that have been made in your past. When they say judgments, they mean in the Pavlovian sense, that good old-fashioned conditioning, not conditioning only from this lifetime, but from past lifetimes. So we really, 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 really live lifetimes of rollover. We're always rolling over into the next lifetime, and sometimes when you see when you have a breakthrough with your past lifetime in meditation or just whatever, you have some insight, you realize, oh my God, I'm doing the same thing, sometimes with the same soul, different relationships, of course, different roles, but it's like the same lesson over and over and over and over again, and that's okay. We're gonna get it, but it starts with awareness. Is this thing on? Hello? If you're watching this video, yeah, it's time to build some awareness. Okie dokie pokes. And listen, guys, I'm in the trenches along with you. We teach what we need to learn. God is good, right? just as a nice gust of wind comes, as if to punctuate that. But you got to do the work, and sometimes it's difficult. It's understandable, but we have to do it. Look at that, the grief card. Yeah, there's the rainbow again, coming from where? Across the stream. But it's like I'm so busy looking at over here that they're like, hey, remember those 2 cups? We left it behind you. Go ahead, pick it up. Even a little warthog is right there. Wasn't he he was on the other side of the stream behind the lady holding the 2 cups. Now you might be like, yeah, but maybe this is because you crossed the path. No, you didn't. You're still on this side. They just gave you something to work with, just like they're giving this reading and countless other signs in your daily life that maybe you may be missing, or God bless, and they gave you this cute little piggle. Okay, God is good. There she is. She's like, hey, I'm still here. What you doing? It hurts, but let's go. Okay, 1, 2, middle of the pack. Okay, let's see what's in the middle of the pack. 3. Aw, cute. Ding! Ace of Swords, divine communication. What is this? What is this underneath? Whatever it is, it's peeking out. Ah, Page of Shields. Okay, let's take a look. All right, so we have this divine communication coming through. The Ace of Swords. It's a major message coming from the divine. I suddenly felt like it's about to be like, right? So the idea is like, hey, we're just letting you know. That's always the notification voice. Hey, just letting you know. We're going to be, going ahead and cutting some cords here for you. We're going to dredge some things up for you. So would be nice if you could, work with us. Here's the Page of Swords. You're getting the message. You're like, okay, I'll consider it. So yeah, please consider it. But think, what could you have? Maybe it starts by thinking, what could I possibly have manifest for me? What could my blessing be if I were to actually do this healing? What could I have? What is it that I desire? Because, a lot of times we actually are more aware than not about what it is that we are blocking ourselves from, blocking our blessings, because we're hung up on a certain reality that is no longer a reality, certain person, a certain place, a certain thing, an opportunity, a situation that just is no longer aligned with us. What is that? I just see orange and it's calling me. What is that? Who are you? Okay, what are you? Is it what I think it is? Okay, it's not. Okay. Thought it was. It's the 3 of Wands. Waiting. What are you waiting for? Look, just waiting. It's like I see fits and starts. I'm, aloha mora. Aloha mora. Nothing's happening. Or like when you're trying to use your Patronus. What is it? Expectus Patronus or something? Expecto Patronus. And there's Saturn. Just loving it. Just watching you. Yeah, they just, the guides are like, we're here to help you. Boom, there's a Justice card. He's like, let's get this done, in his accent. Here's the Sword. I'm afraid to even look at what this card is. It's kind of exposing itself. But long story short, okay, let's take a look. You guys know. Oh, there's your new beginning, the Fool. Yeah. They're saying that a lot of us have been having countless new beginnings. Again, like we saw, fits and starts, countless new beginnings from whatever this thing is, Remember, you see how across the stream we've got all these beautiful mountains? Well, there was a time when you were put back over there. See? You picked yourself up off the floor, they put you back over there, and you found yourself back over here. So the guides are saying it's time to look at why am I doing this. Of course, let's just go ahead and throw it out there. Father mother issues, it's always in there, but there's more. Of course, there are past lifetime things, conditions, there's shifts that need to happen, energetic shifts and opportunities that have arisen for some of you along the way, but on a subconscious level you've turned them down, and maybe you weren't ready at the time, and that's okay, right? It's your timing, but this is another opportunity. They're like, let's get this going, So anyway, God is good. Let's bring an end to all of this. See how it was connected to this, they're calling it the Source card. I was going to say the Ace of Swords, but they're calling it the Source card because this is divine communication. This divine communication is an effort to, they're so funny. I'm just hearing that in that voice. This call is an effort to collect the debt. Not that I know of that. What are you guys talking about? Excuse you, rude. But yeah, they're like this. This is an effort to, to put an end to this cycle. We're here, giving you an opportunity. Alrighty. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave this call here. I'm going to leave this energy here as well. So let's see, is there anything else that you guides would like to bring up for our beloved listeners? Let me just listen in, guys. Okay. See, I keep getting, okay, I just heard eat chocolate milk, drink chocolate milk or something, if that's for somebody here. What else? I also see rainbows coming in. When I look up at the sky, I'm seeing rainbows. Basically, what I'm seeing is an energetic frequency that is being extended at this time to a lot of us. Remember, rainbows are the energy of miracles. Don't ask me why, but they tend to go together, especially when I'm receiving messages. So what that means, if you guys have followed me, you know that I like to use the definition of a miracle that A Course in Miracles, the text, uses, which is miracles are merely a change in perception. And so this is what they're saying. They're saying now is a time to really have a miracle occur for you. We saw the rainbow 2 times in this reading, coming through with that healing energy. In other words, it's a chance for you right now. There's a chance for you energetically to have an awakening. Let's put it that way. An awakening. An understanding, coming to a reality. And sometimes it's not easy, obviously. And that's why we have to, I want you to think for a second, not to scramble your brain or anything right now, because I scramble mine a little bit when I think too much about this scenario I'm about to tell you, but when your friend's like, hey, how do you know you're even still alive? And you're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, remember when you had that accident, when you fell off the bleachers, or I don't know what you did as a child, and then you turned out to be okay, and you're like, phew, and they're like, yeah, or you're like, yeah, and then your friend's like, what if you never really made it? What if you never made it and you actually transitioned at that time, but you didn't realize, and all these years that you've spent growing up was really just your mind trying to come to terms with it? But what if all your guides and everything, they're actually really here, and they're just watching you from behind a screen that you can't see, and they're just letting your mind play out this lifetime that's no longer actually real, just so you can come to the reality of what is real, what is true. And then your mind is blown. You're like, what? You're saying I never really made it out? And you're here to kind of push me a little bit to realize that? And then your mind's like, what's real? It's one of those things where you've been, if this reading is for you, of course, God bless, 33 minutes, 33 seconds. If this reading is for you, I'm not saying you've actually transitioned. That's not what I'm saying. That's just an example to show the mind, the dynamic. What if, I just saw a hummingbird. There's a hummingbird right outside. Speak it, God. So what they're trying to say is, a situation that you were in at one point, this lifetime or past lifetime, is over and has been over. And in this lifetime probably didn't even really start, but it triggered an awareness and a reality and a reaction from you because you had that active from a past lifetime, and now you've caught the bug of something, and you can't forget this guy, or you can't this, or you can't. Some people could call it a limerence. If it's, it's called a limerence for some of you. It's like, there's no reason why I should be hanging on to this person for 15 years, but whatever it is. And the guides are like, that's actually really over, and we've just been waiting for your mind on some level to recognize that. And then it's one of those things where eventually it will set in, the reality will set in. We're hoping it's this lifetime. I'm getting a flute for some reason, so flute may feature in one of your somebody's lifetime, or maybe a symbol that the guides use to communicate with you. But you know, it'll happen, and then when you do, you're just like, oh, I realize it. They're gone. And it's like this awareness. It's just like, it's like a rubber band. Oh. Think of it as being in long-term shock and not yet getting it. And then one day you're going to get it. This is an opportunity to move towards getting it. And so this is trauma, right? And it's understandable. But this is, again, and this is the guides are saying, yeah, it's an effort to collect the debt. No, it's an effort to bring you this closure that you need. And imagine needing closure on something, but not realizing that you actually need closure on it. And then when you actually realize, oh, I need closure on this, and then you finally get it, you realize, oh my God, this has been closed for 20 years. They're not coming back. Or, oh my God, I did get fired from this job a few years ago, and it's never coming back again. This is an opportunity. So it's help to deal with endings. Okay. Oh, heavy, guys. Why so heavy in June, Gemini month? You know, yes, Taurus, we see you, but you know, Taurus is like, but you know, maybe can we somehow get in there? No, you're kind of done. You've been done for a while, but we're going to pull you in to June just for the sake of Taurus people struggling to let things go in general. And this, you may struggle with some endings. Scorpio, you know, all of us. Pisces, love you. Shout out. Anyway, so long story short, after 36 minutes and 56 seconds, these messages are for you guys. It's time to bring an ending to something. So consider it, is what they're saying. And you may start by considering the value of what you can have when you put this to rest. Might I also say that we've been framing this discussion in terms of a relationship, but I also want you to know they could very well be talking about your relationship to victim consciousness. Maybe you were victimized at one point. It's time to put it to rest, you know, and I say that it's for whoever needs to hear that, and your guides are probably just letting you know. Okay, anyway, if you would like to do some healing work with me, feel free to check my Etsy channel. I don't have an Etsy channel. I have an Etsy page. You can check my link to, and it goes to Etsy. Please know that I do offer all kinds of readings. Yay! And I also offer Zoom readings. Guys, I just keep hearing for free. Like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Well, anyway, whatever. I have been considering, maybe that's why they're saying, I have been considering doing some, a slew of free readings and pro bonos, but we'll see how that goes. I already do a lot of pro bono work, you guys know, shout out. But I recently have been kind of getting a desire, a push to just, you know, look at my hands, they're like mirroring this, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, which tells me there's a collective, it almost feels, no, I don't want to say graduation, but there's a collective of you that probably needs to cross a threshold. So keep an eye out for that. If you're interested, hit me up, and the least I can do is ask Spirit, is this one of them? Are they one of the people that you want me to work with for free? So but all the rest, feel free to hit up my Etsy page. God bless. God bless you. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me. Okay? Mwah. Bye, guys.